take a quick look at how it has been set up, and then I'll improve it. Right, so this is how it's looking in the viewer, and in Arnold view, it looks like this. And what I'll do is I'm going to reduce the size of this, and you guys know this. You go to view. Well, firstly, let's make sure that this your rendering is set to the required image size, HD 720. Okay, that's what I said we should have for the class. So that's good. Now, to make it easier for ourselves, you can go to view and say test resolution and say fit window size, so that even though it is at 720, this will serve as a nice preview. You know, it'll be just small and it'll render fast also. Okay, so the whole point about Arnold rendering is that, you know, as you make changes here, it updates, and so that's good. Now, the first thing I'll do is I'll set my cameras up so that I have the camera view, and then a top-down view and side profile and all that, so I can control things easily. This next thing I'll do is I'll set up a real camera for this, because this doesn't look like a real proper camera. This is just the default perspective. So I'm going to say panel perspective new, and that creates a new camera, and I will give that name select camera, and I'll just give it a name render cam. Okay, and it shows up here. And to make sure you're seeing through the render cam, all you do is go to panels, perspective, and just choose render cam. And if you see the name of the camera right here, it tells that, well, that is what you need. Okay. The next thing I'll do is I'm going to view what gets rendered. For that, you go to view, camera settings, and say resolution gate for that. And now notice that this is still rendering from the old camera. I just click on it. Actually, I'll just have to reopen it because hasn't shown up. So just close it and just reopen it. Render view, and say this. Okay, great. So now you'll see that. See, when you drop down, shows you perspective and render cam. Okay, so just make sure you're in the render cam. And now with this resolution gate, I can render, because this resolution gate tells me exactly what my HD 720 is seeing. And now this is how I can stage it properly. So before I even light it, I want to stage it. And then this, you know, I make all the adjustments as near like this seems way too small. And I see that there must be some snapping set on this, on the scaling. So I'm gonna step snap. Okay, it's off. It's good. It's probably my computer slowing down. Okay, cool. Are you guys able to see all this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. All right, so then I'll make sure I say view, test resolution, fit window size. Okay, good. Sometimes you may have to click on it for it to just pop back. Okay, so that's good. Now, so I'm going to choose what's that? A composition that looks something like this. And now let's see what's going on in the scene. That is, I see that there is a key light inside. And here's a little tip. For me to select things easily, just go to, see this I believe the second tab here, and just click. So these are all different types of objects in the scene. This is mesh. So if you click mesh off, you won't be able to select a mesh. That's easy. That makes it easier for you to select what's inside. I'm going to scale this out so I can see it nicely. And I see that there's only spotlight and a direction light here. So there is no third light. Okay, and Now this whole air thing has to be cleaned up, which is a different matter, Elias. Yeah. Now for me to, here's a little tip. For me to see what lights are here, just go to show objects and say lights, and it'll show you, oh, spotlight and direction light. Fine. So okay, so I'll just create the rest. So first thing I'll do is I'll take the direction light and I'm going to just reduce its intensity 0, so I see what's going on here. Okay, so this is the main thing. All right, so I will take this and I'll work on this a bit. I'm going to all right, so cone angle, I'd like to increase that a bit, make it nice like that, maybe all the way up there. And but again, these are all your personal choices. Okay, so just think the technicalities are the only things you really want to focus on more. This one, I increase the penumbra angle like that, and intensity. Intensity is this 10 is way too low. Let's say 50. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Now the reason why 50 shows up is probably because you have this exposures turned all the way up, because by default you should get something like only like that. And so you may be wondering how come this intensity is doing nothing, and that's fine. That's the way it is for Arnold. You have to go hit you on 100 or you on 1,000 before you see anything here, and that's totally okay. Or you just have whatever you have here and you just increase the exposure. Okay, so that's good. All right, I'm going to go for a nice warm, very hot exposure here. Now the next thing I'll do is the other light. This is so this is the key light. So let's see how it's looking. Here's a key light, and here's the bounce light. I want to bounce some light off. And what I'm doing, what I'd like to do is, I'm thinking that this bounce light should be not from the side, but I'm going to go from the bottom to the top. Let's just bounce upwards. And so I'm going to increase its intensity a bit and just see what it looks like when I just turn it upwards. Okay, like that. And see what the intensity. So this is where you have to really work to get some art going. Okay. I think maybe, yeah, this is what I should get here. Okay, I think I'll go for this actually. This so like there's this much is being shown here. Let's see how far I can go with this. It's not bad. Okay, cool. Now what I'll do is I'll put a third light, and for the third light I'm gonna create a new spotlight. place it here, scale it up so I can see it, and press T. Because, like I said, the T, it breaks up the light into two pieces, and aim it this way because I'd like to get a nice spot right there. So put it to 50, put it to 100, maybe 200, 500. Yeah, that look is what I'm trying to get. And now that I have that, I'll let me see how far I can go to create a 600. And now this light, okay, there we go. That's what I want. This assumes that there's a light from the other side, okay? So it's not all from this light. Now, I'm not very happy with this light here. So I'm trying to see if I can get something better. Yeah, that's what I want. I'm just gonna give it a small, very, just a touch. So it's mostly being lit by the key light and this backlight, with the bounce light just enough to show its presence. Because the important thing is we don't want to put lights all over the place because then it'll not have any art in it. We need to show the balance of one. I mean, we have to balance everything out so that some things are more than the others. See, if I turn this off, notice that it's holds on its own, right? Now I can just increase it just a bit, so give it this understated, as if this light is coming from, it hit somewhere, I mean, it just hit some, it's bouncing out from some other spot, the wall perhaps, and casting a gentle light here. Great, so that's what I'm going to do. Now, there is a small issue with, see how these things are getting all chopped up here. I'm wondering if it's the surface itself. So I'm going to see this, I'm going to select the surface. You guys see this, right? See how it's choppy it is? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe it could be the surface itself. I'm going to get rid of this because this looks strange, the surface. I'm going to get rid of it, and I'm going to, let me see if I can create a new poly plane. I see, yeah, there we go. It still is not very good. Why is that? Let me check something. I'm going to just, let me go create a brand new spotlight just to see if it's an issue with spotlight itself. I'll turn this spotlight off briefly. 200. There you go. So I think it was something with that light itself. So when you have an issue with that with lights, just maybe it's some error with the light or some setting that got thrown off somewhere. So instead of trying to figure out what happened with that light, I just got rid of it and I just placed a brand new one. So there you have it, guys. So this is how I have redone the work. Elias, did that help?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, great. So there you have it, guys. So this is the result. And then you just let it render, see how it's still splotchy. Just have the patients let it render, and so all the splotches will go away. There used to be a place where it'll show the rendering. It's not there yet at this point. But yeah, hold on. Yeah, right. It's not there. Okay, fine. So just let it render that before it finishes rendering. Just wait and wait and wait until it's done rendering, and then you say File, Save Image, and save it. Just give it a name, and it just saves it as a JPEG file. Now, when I look at it in a large scale, I think what I still can improve a few things. One, I would like to maybe increase this a bit more, because I'd like to make this more warm than this one. And here's something else, guys. Actually, no. Oh yes, you see there's some shadows are forming here. The thing is, you can actually choose if you do not want certain shadows by just going to a light and just going to Arnold and saying don't cast shadows. So there you go. See, I say no cast shadows, so I think those long lines disappear. And maybe for this backlight, let's say, depending on how you're angling it, maybe it'll cast an ugly shadow here. You can simply go to that backlight and just turn that cast shadow off. So your art is preserved, because you don't want this, you just want a certain lighting, but you don't want the lighting to cause some other complications, like casting some ugly shadows all over the place. So that's how you do that. So, okay, back to this. All I'm going to do now is I'm going to just increase its intensity just a bit to make this area a little hotter. Okay, there. I think that's, yes, that's what I want. See, so this is the feel I like. All right, guys, done. So that's the demo, and so let me see some really good work.